I remember, attending a knowledge session by KPMG at that time. Um, and the partner then who was presenting to us indicated to me, or to us rather, to say, you know what? When I'm broke, it's when I have 150K in my bank account.
Wow.
And I said, wow, that's actually something that I would like to have. And at that time, I was struggling to,
Mm.
I struggling to get $5
Mm.
to catch a cab to go to, Katutura.
Hello and welcome back to Beyond the Spreadsheet. My name is Rodilio Lewis, and this is a podcast brought to you by ICAN to give you an idea of the people behind the accounting profession. Now, each episode features members who share their personal and their professional journeys with us, highlighting the human side of the accounting world. This season, of course, we'll be focusing specifically on the audit profession, aiming to showcase exactly what its purpose is and the depth and the opportunities that exist for young people out there. The goal is to inspire current and future professionals to see auditing not just as a technical field, but also as a meaningful and rewarding career. And we're back, of course, with another exciting episode of Beyond the Spreadsheet brought to you by ICAN. Now, today I'm joined by my next guest, and of course, we are excited to chat to him and find out exactly how he got into the audit profession. Now, please help me welcome Gabriel. How are you, Gabriel?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here and for taking some time out of your busy schedule, because I'm sure you guys have a lot of things that you need to do every day.
Yes, indeed,
Yeah.
indeed. Yes. My
No,
partner is even watching
you're even watching the clock. You're like, hey.
Yeah.
Now, Gabriel, for all of our people that are, of course, listening and watching and wondering, okay, auditors,
Mm.
what exactly is an auditor? And how did you stumble upon the journey of taking this on?
Okay. Super. So Gabriel is a young man
Mm,
from Matundu village. It's a small village close to Enana, up in the north. I did my high school at Gabriel Haufiku,
mm,
senior secondary school, and I then matriculated in 2009, and I went to the University of Namibia, where I did my undergrad studies in accounting. Um, and you know, that's actually when the my knowledge about accounting
mm,
and auditing was enhanced. I mean, that's where I met a couple of people that really inspired my journey.
mm.
I I was fortunate enough to have gotten a bursary from Distel,
Beautiful.
now Heineken, through the University of Namibia Foundation at that time. So I remember, attending a knowledge session by KPMG at that time, um, and the partner then who was presenting to us indicated to me, or to us rather, to say, you know what? When I'm broke, it's when I have 150K in my bank account.
Wow.
And I said, wow, that's actually something that I would like to have. And at that time, I was struggling to,
Mm,
I struggling to get $5
mm,
to catch a cab to go to, Katutura. Um, and that was really the inspiration. The inspiration came from there to say,
mm,
accounting is it's something that I need to pursue.
mm,
And it was then when Distilled and obviously the bosses at the time asked me if I would want to further my studies in South
mm,
Africa to pursue the CA,
mm,
program. And I did that. I was fortunate enough to have kind, people at Distilled at the time who saw talent,
mm,
you know, and they try so hard to
mm.
just bring out that talent.
Beautiful.
And at the time, I couldn't communicate.
Mm,
I got a base reach, and I'll forever be grateful to Distill.
mm,
And then because they presented me with an opportunity, uh, so I finished my undergrad studies in 2013, and then 2014 I went to the University of Johannesburg, where I did now the bridging program.
mm.
Uh, that year was quite interesting. I failed nicely.
Really
Yes,
nicely.
yes, yes. I did that year of bridging. Came back. I had given up on becoming a CA. Came back to Namibia
Mm,
2015 and 16. I worked for Destel.
mm,
And it's when I met um, Kapandu Chitai, she's also a CA, who would then ask me if I want to be disrespected in boardrooms because I went to her office asking for an internal audit job. I said to myself, she asked me that question, and I tried to give excuses to say, you know what, I can't go back to school because she asked me if I wanted to go back to if I didn't want to go back to school, and I said I would like to. And I gave an excuse. There's no money. Guess what she asked me? What she told me actually. She told me that's an excuse. And I was like, yes, it is an excuse. I must go look for the money. So I went back to my bosses at Distel again to say I'm willing to go back to Joburg, the University of Johannesburg, to go finish my studies. So 2017, I went back to the University of Johannesburg. I started my bridging program again, and then 2018, I was done with CTA, and I found myself in audit at Deloitte, and that's why when my career in auditing started. I started my articles in 2019, finished them in 2021, and I registered as a CA NAM in 2022.
Wow.
So I'm a newly qualified, so to say. But
well done. Well done. I think also what's so beautiful is I think a lot of people when they get that moment of like, oh, failure, then they just really completely give up. They throw in the towel. I think what's so beautiful is that you were still able to find your way back.
Yes.
And through that external inspiration from someone that you deemed as like, wow, you're important. I believe in you and you believe in me, so I can do this. I think that's very commendable. So from my side, well done.
Thank
well
you.
done. I think a lot of young Namibians need to hear more stories like this where we're like, you can fail.
Yes.
Does not mean that you've lost the war. You can still go back in.
Yes.
So keep trying, keep pushing. So for that, I would just say, well done.
Yes.
Well done, really.
And inspiration matters. Inspiration matters because I mean I got to the point where I am because there were people around me that really encouraged me to do that, and people matter.
Now, speaking about where you are currently, you've worked your way up to an audit manager at Deloitte, of course. And what I want to find out from you is, what has the journey taught you as a professional?
Thank you. So, how I define articles, the training program that allows you to qualify as a CA, is that it's a journey of self-discovery. What I mean is that you tend to learn so much about you, to discover new aspects about yourself. You tend to understand, what you like, what you love doing, what you don't like doing, your areas of strength, areas of improvement. You tend to learn that as part of the process of articles. It taught me that. So it taught me resilience. I mean, the long hours. I mean, your family. I'm somebody that loves the village. I would constantly go to the north, probably 4 or 5 times a year. So I love being home, and the fact that I needed to make that adjustment, I have deadlines to meet. That kind of teaches you resilience. It teaches you communications as well. It teaches you to work in teams. It teaches you to respect. It teaches you respect. I mean, respect becomes the order of the day.
Yes.
You don't just respect your superiors, but you also respect those that are your juniors, and that really matters.
I love that you said juniors.
Yes.
And not like subordinates or anything.
Ordinate.
That's very beautiful. Like also it just shows again that collaborative partnership that's there and that family network. Because what I've come to understand, like the more I have conversations like this with the accounting fraternity, I get to understand and see that it's really like a family. It's like a network of people come together.
Indeed.
And I love that very much because it's important to have that. And it's a big misconception in the world that accountants don't talk to each other. They're all just competing and typing away. But
No, we
you do.
We do. Actually, I love a bubbly boardroom because as auditors we sit, in boardrooms. I love a bubbly boardroom. I'm not somebody that will come to a boardroom and all serious. I want to have fun. I want to engage. I want to talk. I want to make jokes. We talk.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Now, with all of this and everything that's happened, what would you say has been the most rewarding thing about becoming an auditor?
Yes. So the first thing that really, that makes me happy about being an auditor is the fact that I'm never ever at the same place, all year long,
Beautiful.
all year out. I would find myself 1 month I'm there, 2 months I'm there, I'm in the coast, you know,
Mm.
I'm I'm always, you know, on the
On the
move.
move.
And that's actually what I find rewarding, because you know you don't get bored. Okay.
Mm.
The second thing that, you know, that keeps me really, you know, excited is the fact that seeing my juniors grow.
Mm.
I mean, we work with you know, a junior from their first year until
Mm.
they are you know, seniors, and seeing them grow really matters. It
Mm.
matters to me, and some even grow beyond, you know, yourself
Mm.
or beyond you. So
Mm.
that's really matter. It makes me happy. Um, so the other aspect is that you're working with brilliant people, right?
Mm.
I mean, if you look at Deloitte, uh, we are a small practice in Namibia, but we have our big brothers and sisters in South Africa that can, you know, even global, that can really, that I can reach out to say, you know, I'm dealing with this problem. Please help me.
Mm.
So that's really, you are part of an organization that, you know, that's full of brilliant people, and that's actually what makes me happy.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's important to also know that where you find yourself, it's a conducive space that uplifts
Yes.
people
Yeah.
and doesn't just uplift them into a specific direction that one person has a vision for, but it's a collective vision for
Yeah.
everyone. And I think that's very important. And it's also something that leads me to my next question, which is the misconception of what actually is happening in the accounting world. And there are
Yes.
many misconceptions. A lot of people think that auditors are watchdogs,
Yes.
that you're there to police us.
Yes.
Now, apart from all of those types of misconceptions that exist, what is a misconception that you might have had that now that you're in the
In the
business, you're like,
profession, yes.
oh, wait, it's not really like that?
Yes, yes. I mean, you know, it's interesting to know that, you know, when I started to say as a first year,
Mm.
you know, when you walk to a client, they just, you know, assume you are there to look for problems
Mm.
that will cause them, you
Mm.
know, trouble. But, you know, an auditor is really a friendly person.
Mm.
You know, see an auditor as that individual that just walks in, just asks a few
Mm.
questions, and then you give them answers, and then, you know, they walk
Everything works
away.
out.
But, you know, the misconception that I see often is that, especially from various stakeholders,
Mm.
um, is that they believe that auditors look at every transaction that happening within the organization.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not. We know we work on a sample basis, and we focus on transactions that
Mm.
filter to our, you know, to our radar.
Mm.
So that is one of the misconceptions, because we only look at those transactions. The
Mm.
other one that I can think of is that there are various stakeholders think that we provide, you know, absolute assurance. We don't. We give reasonable assurance based
Ah.
on the evidence that we have, you know, gathered to support our opinions.
Mm.
So that's really just a couple of them that I can think of at the moment.
If you had to give me one more, but what you had as a student, what would that be? Because I feel like apart from just like clients and like possible people that you can like collaborate with, like the young professionals that are out there, or even just like trying to figure out, they obviously have their misconceptions. I mean, I
Yes.
mentioned it to you
Yeah.
before we started that like I thought it was a boring career where you just sit there in an
Yes.
office. So for a student's misconception, what would you want to dismiss for them?
So the other misconception I believe is that, you know, before I even became an
Mm.
auditor, is the fact that, you know, auditors are there to find fraud.
Mm.
Um, that's not entirely true.
Mm.
We do obviously perform procedures that will allow us to make our conclusive, you know, we do perform procedures that allow us to just satisfy ourselves that there are no misstatements in the financial statements due to fraud. But, you know, the responsibility of preventing and detecting fraud is a responsibility of management and of child governance. That will be like your board or audit committees. That's just one of the things that, you know, one of the misconceptions that I can think of that, you know, people
That
out
might be
there,
out there.
Yes, I still
Interesting.
believe that we auditors are there, especially external auditors. That's not really our job.
Mm.
Um, yeah.
Okay, okay. Now, how do you see the role of auditors evolving in the world as we're, of course, stepping into the digital era? As we
Mm.
know, we're in the technological revolution.
Yes.
Everything is AI, everything is online. How do you see the career developing and expanding
Mm.
because of this?
From an external audit perspective, we see AI
Mm.
as an enabler,
Yes.
right? I see that as a body
Mm.
to help me to deliver an
Mm.
audit, right? So auditing professionals need to embrace AI, and
Mm.
then they need to employ various tools, AI
Mm.
tools that are out there, to make them part of the audit
Mm.
processes. I mean, if you employ AI as part of your audit,
Mm.
that allows you it allows you to really take a deep dive into the massive complex data. I mean, organizations are automating their processes. Now, you don't want to be an auditor that still wants to continue performing their work,
Mm.
or your work. Um, yeah. So, as an external auditor, you do not want to be servicing clients
Mm.
that they've automated their processes, and you're still there
Mm.
asking for, give me a general ledger dump, and you're still following the traditional way
Mm.
of auditing. You need to employ tools that will allow you to take a deep dive into that data,
Mm.
and then perform analytics to inform your decision making, do your risk assessment,
Mm.
take a deep dive into the data to show you exceptions,
Mm.
and you focus just on that. So external auditors specifically, we need to continue
Mm.
learning, unlearning, and upskilling
Mm.
ourselves. That really matters. Um, and I like using this example as we then obviously work on this journey of
Mm.
transforming how we do our work. We also need to bring our clients on this journey,
Mm.
because you can't just transform and then
You
you'll
leave
leave
them
your
behind,
client behind.
yes.
That's really that matters.
I love that. I love that.
Yes.
Now, you've spent time lecturing and mentoring professionals.
Yes.
What advice would you give to students and aspiring auditors trying to find their footing within the industry?
Yes. You know, I love being in a
Mm.
lecture
I
room.
love how you got comfortable now when you said that. I'm like, yes,
Yes.
the lecturer came in.
So, I mean, you look at those students
Mm.
and the respect that they give you,
Mm.
not because you are a CA, just because they see you
Mm.
as a lecturer, somebody that's there to impart knowledge. But one thing I always advise my students is ask this question: what is your value proposition? Meaning,
Mm.
what do you offer differently compared to
Yes.
your peers?
Yes.
Because that matters, right? As and when you continue as a
Mm.
student, as you continue on a journey of learning, you need to constantly ask yourself, what will set me apart from the rest?
Mm.
Because you need to be an individual
Mm.
that offers something different, and
Yes.
that's why diversity also matters.
Mm.
If you look at, if I can take it back to audit again,
Mm.
it's you look at the board, the audit teams. We are couple. We are. You find us in a board with a group of people from different groups,
Mm.
and we all offer different ideas. Um, and you don't want to be, you know, just anyone.
Yes.
Be somebody that wants to do some things differently.
Yes.
So I always encourage my students to say, lifelong learning is critical.
Mm.
Just because you are done with your undergraduate qualification, that's the end of it. No,
Mm.
think about other things that you need to pursue. I encouraged most of them to further their studies.
Mm.
I mean, as a youngster, I want to, finish university and then
Yes.
go
And
and look
go
for a
straight.
job. But the reality is that opportunities are not
Mm.
always there. And I mean, if you spend a year, not doing anything, that's it. That's time wasted. I mean, I
It's
would rather spend that year,
studying and
studying,
upscaling.
upskilling,
Mm.
That's very important.
I love that. It's a very important growth mindset,
Yes.
like outlook that we should have, especially when we're in that space. But I feel like also just around the board, everyone really needs to adapt and like adopt a growth mindset. And
Yes.
it leads me into my next question, because apart from just having a growth mindset, there are obviously other qualities and types of like skills that you should have inside of you to really step into and step out in this field. What would you say are some of the most important qualities
The
that
most
you
import
need?
the most important quality of a young professional, let me say a professional accountant, is number one, analytical skills important. I would want to work with a person that can think 360. That's analytical thinking and critical thinking. Look at the problem and then ask yourself a question to say, what are the possible causes of action?
Yes.
That matters. Person that is teachable, right, is an individual that can go an extra mile, can go a long way. An individual that can communicate clearly is, be it written or orally, that's an important skill to have. Person that reads, I mean, you know, that reading is becoming, underrated, but
Very.
reading skills is critical. I mean, we deal with a lot of data,
Yeah.
a lot of information, and that you need to make a decision within a short period of time. It matters really I mean, it is very important to really, to have a culture of reading. Those are the skills I would say are important to a young professional.
To definitely have them and just to set them up to go forward. Because I like that you also mentioned reading, because I'm a big advocate for people need to read more.
Yes.
Like, we do not read enough, not just as a Namibian society, but globally.
Yes.
Like, we're just on our devices all the time, just short little blips of information. And I'm like, that's not enough.
It's not enough.
It's not, you're not really working out your brain. You're not letting the muscles do what they're supposed to do.
Yes.
So I'm very happy that you see that as one of the major qualities, because like you mentioned, there's a lot of data, there's a
Yes.
lot of information. And I had a guest before that talked about how she enjoyed being an auditor, because you guys get to immerse yourself in all of these different industries, because you kind of need to understand what it is you're working with. You can't step into the fishing industry and have no idea what's happening there if you're auditing their books. You can't step into this. It's very important to read.
Yes.
I love that. And of course, analyzing it all as well, and just having a comprehension, because a lot of times we can read, but if we don't comprehend what we're reading,
it's pointless.
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
And one of the things that I always mention to my teams is that you can't audit that which you don't understand. And how do you understand reading?
What makes you stay motivated in the
Motivated.
space? Yes.
Yes. I'm passionate about learning.
Mm.
When I walk into a boardroom every day, you will be flooded with questions from
Yes.
trainees, and the fact that they trust you, with questions, that gives you that satisfaction to say, I'm actually adding value.
Yes.
Imagine if you are the manager and the
No one's asking
trainees,
anything.
yeah, and not asking anything. Then you ask yourself, what am I doing? so so that really that's important to me. Um, you know, the teamwork really also plays a major role. And I get motivated, encouraged. I get happy when I see my teams, working as a group.
I love that.
It doesn't help seeing one team member drowning and then the other is relaxing. No, teamwork really matters. So what also, I mean, if you look at Deloitte, I got exposure on various clients, industries that just give you that feel. You get to understand your country, right? You get to understand the business models. Yes, the business models of various organizations that you get to to audit. So teamwork is important. You need to encourage your team to really work as as one individual.
That's about it.
Yes.
No, but I love that. And I think it's important for us to also just understand that the team is really what makes it all happen. And
Yes.
we don't work in silos in this space.
Yes.
And I think that's a misconception that I have that I'm so happy is becoming very, very demystified
Yes.
with the more I chat to everyone.
To everyone.
So I'm very happy. But my final question, of course, that I wanted to find out from you is, in one sentence, how would you describe auditing to someone who has never considered it as a career?
So I want to explain it this way. There's a statement that I just want to quote is that, you know, in God we trust, everything else, please give us the data and evidence. So that's an auditor.
I love that.
That's an auditor. That's an auditor. So auditing, yeah, I think I don't want to ramble a lot on this. It's fine.
No, it's
Yeah.
perfect. I love that. The statement was beautiful, like in God we trust and everything else.
Give us the data and the evidence.
I love that
Yes.
because it is always evidence-based and it is a lot of data that you guys need to go through. So in closing, all I have left is if you had to describe your journey as an auditor in 3 emojis, what are those 3 emojis and why?
A crying emoji, laughing emoji, and the money.
And the money, the money, I like that one. That's my favorite one. No, but all I can say is just thank you for just what it is that you do, Gabriel. Thank you for inspiring, because also what you need to understand is young men that come from any place in the country now. Doesn't matter if it's the rural area, if it's an urban area, doesn't matter if they're from the coast, if they're from the north. Your story is a story that motivates and inspires. And I just want to say thank you for sharing your voice with us.
Thank you.
Thank you for trusting your voice with us. And thank you for trusting to just share the knowledge that you have with everyone out there. So from everyone over here at Beyond the Spreadsheet, powered by ICAN, we just want to say thank you so much, Gabriel, for just sharing with us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
And of course, Gabriel, our guest for today. Be sure to follow us on all of our platforms. And of course, ICAN for more on Beyond the Spreadsheet. My name is Rodilia Lewis, and I'll be back with more very soon.